Hi everyone, thanks again for joining me. Today what we're going to do is talk about using this negative space to help define this positive space. So this area up here should be quite a bit darker, and you see how all these edges are fuzzy, and I found a lot of times my students have got some tightening up to do, I would say. Like the edges aren't really fuzzy, and the instinct is to start to brush like this, short little brush strokes. And it's because we're a little bit unsure, we're a little bit nervous, and so little brush strokes seem a lot more effective than big long brush strokes. But what you have to understand, especially if you're working at an easel, is that you have gravity on your side, so you can pull the paint down. And if you pull the paint down, you'll actually get a smoother edge. So when it comes to here, this area here, this is all fuzzy, what we need to do is use the side of our brush. I'm going to put my palette down so I can show you. So here's the brush. So rather than using the tip, which is what our instinct is, we want to draw as if, or paint as if we're holding a pencil or a pen, but we're holding a paintbrush. So using this side or this side and running that along our fuzzy edge can really make a difference. It could be a lot easier. The other thing that we often don't do is we focus on that which is really linear, right? This is quite narrow, this kelp. So I'm like, oh no, I gotta make it narrow. How do I do that? It's really hard to kind of, this isn't too bad to be honest, but you know, if you're getting a whole bunch of colors in there and you kind of jiggle a little bit, you've had too much coffee that day, it's hard to get a really, really sharp edge. When we have a sharp edge, the object stands out. So, move to the negative space here. It's a lot bigger and a lot easier to paint. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate up here. Of course, this isn't anywhere near done either, but it's definitely further along than this is, and it's important to work evenly over your entire painting, and I'm sure I've mentioned that already. So, just going to fill in this. It's basically quite dark. There's not a lot to it here, especially at this point in my painting. Oh, look. Oh, can you see that? I think that's reflecting the camera. Oh, that's neat. It's infinite. So you can see here. Darn it. There we go. There isn't a lot of detail yet. There will be. But for now, I just want to establish those dark areas in order to capture that contrast and start to create these finished edges. Okay? So, to that end, I am using a slightly thinner brush this time. This is a 0. And good old burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. I'm just mixing that up. Now, my paint stays on my palette overnight, and quite honestly, I forget to put it in the freezer. If you're working in oils and you need to keep your paint for the next day, put some wax paper on it, put it in the freezer, and it will actually work for you the next time you need to paint. I forget, so mine stays out. So it's starting to get a little bit dry. So that's why you might want to consider a little bit of linseed oil just to kind of make things move a little bit more, blend a little bit more. Okay. Now, if you have too much paint, can't see that. If you have too much paint on your paintbrush, it's going to just blob everywhere. That's the artistic term for it, blob. So drag your paint through, drag your paintbrush through your paint. Okay? And if this were a newer brush, you'd see, I don't know if you can focus on that. I'm trying to show you that it's actually quite a nice fine tip at the very end. Okay? It would be better if it was a newer brush, but hey, there we go. Okay, so not a lot of paint on my paintbrush, and I'll just go like that. Look at that. nice sharp edge. And again, I used the outside. I didn't use the tip. I used the outside. And you can do that again. You can drag your paint, drag your brush through your paint. And now this is getting a bit thin right there. Let's see, I want to make that narrower. So I might use the edge for the tip. Sorry. There we go. And can you see that? What I'm doing? And up here. Okay. Bring this over. This is going to be a piece of driftwood. Sharpen that up. Ooh. Almost lost my painting. Oh, I did. I lost my painting. I'm going to put that in the description. Natalie loses the painting. Okay. Before we go. There we are. Okay. There. So I hope you agree. I hope you can see the difference that having a nice sharp edge there makes. Okay. Actually, I can tidy it up while we're here. Tidy it up on the bottle too. Okay. Blend, 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 blend. All right. Well, thanks again for joining me. As ever, don't forget to subscribe. I'm still working towards getting 100 subscribers. And if you have any comments or questions or topics that you'd like me to address as far as art is concerned, I would be more than happy to film a little video and help you out. All right, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks again. Bye. Still not used to this. I'm going to come up with a joke. Okay. Bye.